and welcome to Thoughts in the Green Room with your host, Jeff Mays. This week's topic, planning. Lately I've been doing a lot of travel. I've been fortunate. I've been off to England. I'm going to Florida. I've gone down to Chicago. There's been a lot of travel happening in my life, and that requires a lot of planning. As I've been doing all of this planning and sorting things out, it's made me think about the planning process for a career and what we do on a day-to-day basis to take our step-by-step process to get further along our path. Now, as an actor, I've come across this thought many times in my life, and I've discussed it with many people, and it always turns into a bitch session about how actors can't do anything to plan. We've got no control over our career. And as much as I do agree with it, and I've been party of that conversation, time has allowed me to shift that perspective quite a bit. The first aspect to it is that, we've got a little bit more control than I've ever given it credit for. The first level of control is our personal preparation, our ongoing planning, if you will, being taking classes, ongoing education through watching what's current, staying on top of the movies, staying on top of what's on YouTube, knowing the directors you want to work with, things of that nature. There's also the fact that doing your prep work. Your agent gets you an audition, make sure you're prepared and you're able to present your best at your audition. And of course, there's the final thing of what are you doing to garner your own work through sources of networks, through sources of other sites that your agent may not be looking at, anything or anywhere that you can get yourself auditions, which in turn you need to be prepared for. And finally, what are you doing to generate your own work? So there's a lot that we can do specific to the craft of acting and the move forward to end up that famous personality or that recognized actor on a television, movie program, whatever it is. There's a lot we can do, but the beef that seems to sit with so many actors is, I've got no control, I can't plan it, because after I put in my day's work, it's up to the casting agent, the director, the producers to say yay or nay to me. And this is a truth. It is, in the end, when it comes down to any specific role, up to things beyond our control. I might do a great audition, but I could be too short for the role. Too thin, too fat, too white, too black, too. You fill in the blank of what could inhibit you, even if you're right for the role. And these are facts of this industry. I've said it before, if they're casting for a movie about the Civil War, I'm not going to be cast as lead slave number one. It's just not appropriate for my type for that specific movie. And that's something we face. This gripe about not having any control, it's in the control of the casting agent, has been used by myself and many others that I'm aware of to stop us from doing what we can do to move our careers forward. It is the proverbial, I can't do anything, so I sit by the phone and wait for somebody to call me. And that doesn't progress anything. So all of this planning that I'm doing for my travel recently has made me think about what is it that I can do to plan for my career. And the one consistent high-arching thought that came through was, what do I do for myself that I enjoy, that I can control? This channel that you're currently watching is one of those things that I control and I can do, and if I put effort into it, I can change the viewership and all sorts of things like that. And that's the kind of stuff that I believe we need to do in order to open up the doors for ourselves creatively, and through our creative growth, that will lead to bigger and better things, whether it be through a better audition or a network because somebody sees you doing something, or whatever it is. Doing what you love that you can control allows you greater exposure and greater opportunity. And at that point, the question isn't, how do I plan for my career, but how do I plan to do the things that I love doing? How do I plan for the things that I do have control over? And with that thought, that brings me to the challenge of the week. The first part of it, of course, is the reflection. What is it that you enjoy doing that you can control? And the second, if you're not already doing something actively to move that forward, what steps, what plans can you make to fulfill those things that you can control, that you can act on to grow yourself as an artist? With that said, those are your thoughts from the green room. I'm your host, Jeff Mays, and we'll see you in a few weeks.